Good afternoon, I'm Vicky McCullum with the midweek edition of Our City COVID-19 show. We will be updating you on the latest information and resources around the COVID-19 pandemic while unpacking deeper issues as they emerge. The global community is racing to slow down and eventually halt the spread of COVID-19, a pandemic that has claimed thousands of lives and sickened millions of others. In Africa, the virus spread to dozens of countries within weeks. Government and health authorities across the continent are striving to limit widespread infections. Today, we will be crossing over to sources who work and live in Zambia and Malawi to get a sense of what things are like in those countries. We do encourage our viewers to get in touch with us. We want to hear from you as we welcome contributions from movements, healthcare providers, and our audience. We want this program to be a two-way flow of information, so please get in touch with us via our social media platforms and our email. And now for the news. As we enter day 20 of the national lockdown, the current number of COVID-19 cases stands at 2,415, with 410 recoveries and 27 deaths. Western Cape SAPS management has reinforced deployments at several townships on the Cape Flats. The decision was taken after several incidents of burglaries, looting of grocery stores and public violence on Tuesday afternoon. Police officials have cautioned communities against taking part in criminal activities, warning that they would not hesitate to take decisive action against those breaking the law. Forces will remain at identified locations until calm is restored.
Following incidents at several townships on the Cape Flats on Tuesday, Western Cape SAPS management has bolstered deployments in these areas. 4 suspects were arrested by Athlone police after a group of about 16 suspects stormed a supermarket, threatened staff, and took cash and groceries in Gatesville on Tuesday afternoon. In Manenberg, crowds took to the streets and broke into 2 wholesale stores, looting grocery items. Tracing operations in the area are underway to track the perpetrators and recover the stolen items. Meanwhile, in Mitchell's Plain, there were sporadic violent protests that led to the arrest of 3 suspects. Public order police are deployed in the area to restore calm.
17 liquor stores in Cape Town have been looted amid the call to lift the ban on alcohol sales during the national lockdown. The police have advised Community Safety MEC Albert Fritz and his department that liquor should be transported to safer premises. The Western Cape Liquor Authority wrote to Western Cape Police Provincial Commissioner Lieutenant General Yolisa Matakata requesting that the police support liquor license holders in transporting alcohol from their licensed premises to safekeeping. The residents of Marikana Informal Settlement in Philippi have complained about the unhygienic environment they find themselves living in. They have to use toilets that don't flush and aren't cleaned on a regular basis. They also don't have access to hand sanitizers, which is a major problem for them.
The residents of Marikana Informal Settlement in Philippi fear for their health as they use unflushable toilets, which are used by more than 20 people. The residents say that the toilets are not cleaned on regular basis by the municipality and that they're not provided with hand sanitizers or educated about the virus.
Sivile nasezindabeni nasezithivini ngecorona but ke ngoku siyoyika kakhulu thina wes ngoba okokuqala sihlala ezindlini ezincinci sibaninzi phakathi and then kuthiwa masivale. 2 kha sifumana abantu thina abangenayo apha abasicaciselayo uba masenze njani thina ngale malunga nale corona, basivula ifestire, sivala iminyango okanye senze kanjani. 2 bekuthiwa kuzongena amajoni ezawuhamba epatrola, asiyazi basithini. ngoba iitoilet zikude, amanzi akude.
Zolani Mboto, who is a resident at Marikana Informal Settlement, says that their worst fear is contracting the coronavirus, as the toilets they use are unhygienic and they do not have hand sanitizers.
Thina sizibona sisengxakini kakhulu, asikho safe. Izinto ezininzi ezikuthi xa siziva xa ku-advertiswa sifumanisa into yobana bezinosinceda. Sifumanisa singenawukwazi singancedeki xa zingekho, ngoba sifumanisa uba bekufanele into yobana asizibambi ii-objects okanye mhlawumbi nantoni na mhlawumbi ekhe yathathwa ngomnye umntu ngaphandle kwe-toilet papers. But kuba singenazongo ke, ngoba thina sihlala ematyotyombeni, asinazo ezona ntsika ezo toilet papers. So kuba nzima kuba sibe asinawubamba zi-objects. Siyahamba siye ezi-toilets sizobamba ii-toilet ezisetyenziswa ngabantu abaninzi ngosuku. Awuyazi umntu ebesanda uphuma kule toilet ngeli xesha loba wena ube ungena, uba unayo okanye akanayo. Kodwa kube kunyanzeleka into yoba ngena, ngoba kaloku xa ungenazongo ezinto ube ungenalo nethemba loba mhlawumbi uyawuba nazo into ezifana nezi-toilets paper, toilet papers namaglavu ezibana kusitshiwo. So zizinto ezingenazongo. Okunye esisota ngako kuba kwa i-sanitizer ezi kuba nzima masibe siyazifumana, ngoba sibe nazo thina, ngoba uninzi lwabantu abakhona asisebenzi. Kuba nzima into yoba masibe siba nazo kaba ngolo hlobo sizibona singekho safe.
The residents say that they want to be provided with flushable toilets, and since the children are unable to attend school due to the lockdown, they want after-school programs to be done in the area to assist the children in catching up with their schoolwork.
Nasisi utshintsho endilirhalelayo kuba okokuqala siflash itoilet. Iinkonzo silungiselela indlela esihamba kuzo, zibonile ngokuzayo indlela esihamba kuzo zirongo kakhulu, ezo ndlela kunohlala kuzo abantu. Kuphinde kubekho iiproject enjengoba abantwana bethu bagcwele ezinto badinga into kwenza, asinanto ezinobanga uba abantwana bethu bagcineke kuzo. Sibe nazo nezinto kuthiwa i-project for abantwana bethu.
The residents complain about waste and water that is being scattered everywhere, and that the municipality does not clean their toilets on a regular basis.
Ngoku uyasuka kwakho uza itoilet malunga nale coronavirus asikho safe man. And nakwesinye istrato ngapha esanibonisa sona kuchithwa amanzi, kuchithwa yonke into phaa, and ngoku laa nto leyana izawuafektha nabantwana. Ngoku kunazo neerote eziphuma ziye phaa esingazazi ke kwasazo neerote ezazozuza nale coronavirus ezendlini na, because zathi uyayibaleka awuhambe estratweni irote izawufika kulaa ndawo kuchithwa kuyo phaa izongena endlini. So nee-sanitizer sinazo ke ngokuba kwii-toilet ezi zilapha.
With the government having mitigation plans in order to ensure that the coronavirus does not spread rapidly, the residents of Marikana Informal Settlement still feel sidelined and that they are not being taken care of by the government. They say that they want to be provided with electricity and proper and clean toilets. For our City News, I'm Zanele Mvana, Marikana, Philippi.
With just 7 taps serving an East River community of around 600 people, as well as crops and livestock belonging to the Atemba Small Farmers Association, it was not surprising that frustrations have resulted in fights over resources. A spokesperson for Atemba said no one was regulating the distribution of water. Queues formed on a daily basis, with residents carrying 5-litre containers to fill, while others arrived with trucks to fill up tanks. The area was the site of an illegal occupation tussle before a settlement was reached. Human Settlements MEC Tertius Simmers said mediation over access to land continued, adding that occupiers were illegally using municipal tap water for agricultural activities. Now it's time for an ad break. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back. You're still watching Our City COVID-19 show with me, Vicky McCullum. We will be giving you the latest updates on the COVID-19 pandemic and sharing essential resources and information with you. South Africa has received medical supplies from China to help combat the COVID-19 outbreak. The cargo is currently going through accelerated clearance, with the assistance of the South African Revenue Service. Health Ministers William Kize with his deputy, Dr. Joe Phala, and the International Relations and Cooperation Minister, Dr. Naledi Pandor, received the consignment from Charge d'Affaires Lenan at OR Tambo International Airport.
We can confirm the items that have been received include surgical masks, particulate respirators, goggles and face shields, COVID-19 diagnostic kits, disposable sterile rubber surgical gloves, protective face masks for medical use, disposable protective clothing. I can also confirm that the surgical masks in quantities received last night are 50,000, the goggles are 3,000, the infrared thermometers are 500, the shoe covers are 11,000, disposable sterilized rubber surgical gloves 11,000, protective face masks for medical use 11,000, and disposable protective clothing are 3,000. We express our deepest gratitude. This particular consignment will be handed over to the Department of Health, who will be responsible for its deployment across the country. And
we express our gratitude to the People's Republic of China for the continued support and assistance that they've given us. I may as well just indicate that there has been quite a lot of support that we have received from the People's Republic of China, particularly the area of technical support. In this case, on the 3rd of April, we actually had a whole webinar or a conversation between the heads of departments, the provincial MECs and heads of departments, and the National Health, as well as our Ministerial Advisory Committee. We were all taken through the experiences of China, where they deployed 12 experts to take us through the discussion of how they went about managing the COVID-19 in China. We found this to be very, very valuable, and we also found that this was helpful as it came as a follow-up to another similar webinar where our 500 people who had participated on the 27th of March, also organized by the WHO. And in this case, most of the ministers of health in the whole world participated. And what was most interesting for us was the presentation about how China had dealt with the problem. Of course, there was also contribution or presentation from other countries such as South Korea, Japan, and Singapore. So we are therefore grateful for this, and we are looking forward to additional support in a number of ways. As we speak right now, we're working very closely with the private sector, looking at the entire stock of our requirements in the country, and we're working very closely to make sure that such is expedited. And I want to say, therefore, thank you to even our Department of International Relations, Minister Pandor, and the whole department for facilitating quite a lot of movement of our goods coming from China into South Africa. Having said so, I'd like to then say that we just need to indicate for today the numbers in terms of our tests that are going on a day-to-day basis, that our numbers have gone up to 2,415 positive cases for today. And this, we believe, we're now seeing a lot more of the testing that's coming from the public sector. We've got tests, we've got teams that are out there screening our communities and then referring more and more people for testing. And we believe that this is the way that South Africa will be able to deal with this pandemic by sending out a lot of teams to identify people who might be at risk. They need to be tested even before they land in the hospital. We'd like to deal with it that way so that we can reduce the numbers of people who can end up landing up in the hospital and overwhelming our system.
Helga Jansen-Dober spoke to Daniel Mababa, a Malawian journalist and news analyst, about the country's recent lockdown and what the situation was like on the ground. Malawi currently has just 16 confirmed COVID-19 cases, 0 recoveries and 2 deaths.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning to Daniel Mababa, a Malawian journalist and news analyst who joins us from Malawi. Good morning, Daniel. These are truly unreal times.
Very unreal, very difficult times, unprecedented. We are in real trouble, but I hope we can get over this time.
Daniel, just give us a snapshot of what the conditions currently are in Malawi with regard to the COVID-19 pandemic. Malawi seems to have recorded its first death about a week ago.
Actually, the death toll is now at 2, and so far, as of 14th April, we have 16 cases. They are spread across several cities and districts. The worst hit is the capital city. We have about 5 cases here. Authorities have just announced a nationwide lockdown. I'm rather hesitant to call it a lockdown. Our president, Peter Mutharika, last night announced, alongside the Minister of Health, announced they're calling it a national lockdown. But like I said, I'm hesitant to call it a lockdown because it's not really locking the country down. There are exceptions that we feel, or that experts feel, are too weak or too loose. For instance, church gatherings can still continue with a minimum of 50 people. There will still be markets operating. So it's really difficult to call it a lockdown. It's not a full lockdown at all.
The question that I asked was around whether schools are still continuing.
Schools are closed. Schools are closed since April the 1st, and the kids are at home.
Okay. Daniel, the pandemic seems to have passed the same way as it has in South Africa and in many other countries, with people returning from the UK, from South Africa, and bringing the pandemic into Malawi?
That has been the case. Our initial case was an Indian lady who had traveled to India, where it is believed she came in contact with a relation who later tested positive for coronavirus. So when she returned home where she lives, that's in Malawi, it is reported she transmitted to a wife, to her home worker, and her grandson. So the initial case is imported from elsewhere. The rest of the other cases also, a majority of them, one of them came from Australia, another one came from the UK. There has been very little local transmission so far. I think 1, if not 2 cases.
So then I suppose, Daniel, in terms of the dearth in local transmission would be a good news for Malawi if you can contain it right now.
Exactly. That's the feeling on the ground. And I guess that's why we are stressing so much about how we contain it. The only problem that stands in the way of containing the problem, like I say, is how our country or our economy is structured. Locking down this economy is a difficult thing to do. Already on the street, the feeling is that you are killing us. You see, Malawi is 70 to 80% an SME economy, people living from hand to mouth. And the general feeling of the fact that locking us down will mean shutting us off from the economic activity that sustains our livelihood. Yeah. what stands in the way of successful containment of the virus.
Daniel, I have to ask.
Also I may add, government or our health authorities are not really sure where are the people that may have come in contact with those that are confirmed. We don't really know the demographics. Where is the virus? We don't really know. And so the stress now is that our testing centers, the test now is that our testing centers are having to grapple with a backlog of people that need to be tested.
Daniel, I have to ask, about a month and a half ago, Malawi was experiencing some political upheaval. How has the pandemic impacted on the outcome of the court case in which there was a dispute on the presidential election?
So actually, I may add or correct you if I may say, we still have political upheaval here. We have fresh presidential elections coming up. The Electoral Commission has set a date, July the 2nd, and we are only weeks, if I may say, April, May, 2-3 months to that election. So we still have that tension, electoral tension, if I may call it, around.
Yeah.
Now, coupled with the pandemic, it's chaotic. We have seen politicians trying to politicize the COVID-19 pandemic, for example, everyone trying to outshine or outsmart the other using the pandemic. There has also been a feeling on the street that government has rushed into locking the country down, in courts still I maintain, because it is afraid of the forthcoming elections.
Yeah.
That's just a general feeling. If you ask me, I think the government is doing this in good faith. It's just the parameters that don't seem to be talking to each other. There are so much inconsistencies in the lockdown or containment policies. Those are the issues that are raising questions if you look at the pandemic vis-a-vis the elections coming up.
Daniel, last question. Do you think that the government will be accessing the support from the African Union? I know that the African Union has received international support to assist governments with things like ventilators and masks, etc.
We have not had anything from the African Union yet, but I know China has donated. We have received supplies from the Jack Ma Foundation, but this one in particular from the African Union, it will be interesting to hear when that arrives in Malawi. But I may report here to you that this country has not enough ventilators. Last time I checked at the weekend with medical authorities here, we have less than 20 ventilators across our public hospitals. That's against a population of around roughly 18 million for Malawi. So the ventilators are an issue. If we get some from the African Union, quite good enough. Yes, we will say we don't have so many cases. Just at 16, you would say that's fair enough. But I would like to report to you that the threat of the COVID-19 pandemic in Malawi is huge now than ever before.
Daniel, I wish you and your staff and your colleagues, your families, all the best in the period ahead. Greetings from a very, very cloudy Cape Town. Is it Blantyre? Are you in Blantyre?
I'm in Lilongwe.
Okay, Milongwe, okay. I wish you all the best, and I'm sure that we will connect again as we go deeper into this. All the best.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. You stay safe, too.
Okay, bye-bye.
We also spoke to Curtis Slimmer, the General Manager of Sun FM in Zambia, to get the latest COVID-19 developments and to find out how they were coping with the pandemic and what measures the Zambian government has taken to limit the spread of the virus.
Good morning. I'm joined by Curtis Slimmer, the General Manager for Sun. Let me get this right. I just thought the General Manager for Sun FM, located in Lusaka, Zambia. Thank you so much for joining us. I know these are really, really odd times that we are living through, Curtis.
Indeed, indeed. And yes, Sun FM is in Lusaka and Ndola. I'm currently at our headquarters in Ndola, Zambia. And yeah, it's great to be on Cape Town TV.
Okay, welcome. We send you greetings from a very grey Cape Town. Curtis, as we've indicated, it is indeed weird times. The continent of Africa has been scrambling to make sure that we avert what could very well be almost a biological genocide. Tell me, what are the conditions like in Zambia right now?
Well, not as bad as South Africa, I must say. And looking at the latest figures that we've received from the Ministry of Health, we have 45 cases in total, but a total recovery of over 30 people, which means we have around 13 people that are actively under quarantine at different health facilities within the country. Then, unfortunately, we lost 2 people, and it's the last death that has put up the number from 42 to 43. To 45 now, and this is where we are also seeing an imminent lockdown in one of our transit towns called Kafue, which for now is being referred to as the epicenter. But I must say, the 20 out of the 30 that have recovered, most of them, if I'm getting my figures right, about 28 of them all came off from the capital, Lusaka.
And Curtis, did the pandemic in Zambia follow the same projections and the same pathway as in the rest of the world, with international travelers coming back? If I remember correctly, the first diagnosed couple was a couple who had gone on holiday to France.
You're right on that. Most of the cases that we've recorded, I think there might only be 3 cases which were not directly linked to people that were outside the country. And this caused or made President Edgar Chagwa have or bring in a lockdown, a partial lockdown. And the partial lockdown is, we had 14 days. We are in the last, in the other 14 days, that should take us through to the end of this month. And with that, we've seen quite a number of improvements, like the 30 recoveries I alluded to, and the few cases coming up. And I meant to say, during the partial lockdown, we've closed down about 3 international airports, and we've only remained with the main international airport in the capital, Lusaka. And this is where they are conducting screening, and quite a number of people from Pakistan, from our records at the moment, brought in the virus to Zambia.
Okay, so the good news on the Zambian front, of course, is that the very big number in relation to the infections that have recovered. Let's move on to the socio-economic pressures. Is the Zambian economy, much like the South African economy, is going to be impacted by this? What are the measures that President Lungu has put in place, and what are the positions of the government to mitigate the economic impact of the pandemic?
That's right. Well, President Lungu has, brought up the partial lockdown in order to ensure that the wheels of the economy continue rotating. And that has also been done in order to, Zambia is landlocked, unlike South Africa. We are landlocked, meaning we depend on neighboring countries in order for us to, receive imports and so many other things. Henceforth, the traffic coming off from other countries, bringing in various commodities, including medicines, are coming from other countries. Henceforth, there's a smooth flow of traffic from the southern end, which brings in much of the commodities from the south end where you are into Zambia, as well as the northern end from Tanzania, where we also draw our fuel. Henceforth, certain businesses are running. We've only had, non-essential companies operating, not operating, but for most companies that are essential, that are manufacturing, they are operating perfectly well. And this is what most people are surviving on. So the government has put in quite a lot of measures to ensure that we do not suffer economically as we try to beat the COVID-19.
Daniel, thank you so much for all your time. I wish you and your staff all the best in the period ahead. And I'm sure that Nobusutu will make sure that we connect again further into the pandemic. All the best to you.
Indeed, and I'm glad to see you working from home, which is a good thing. And wishing you well, stay safe, and a good hello from Zambia to everybody watching Cape Town TV.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
We're taking a short break. When we come back, we'll be looking at the latest international news. Welcome back. US President Donald Trump has called a halt to funding the World Health Organization because it had failed its basic duty in its response to the coronavirus outbreak. The American president said the organization had promoted China's disinformation about the virus, which had likely led to a wider outbreak of the virus than would have otherwise occurred. The United States is the biggest overall donor to the Geneva-based organization, contributing more than $400 million in 2019. One of Africa's largest reputation management consultancies, Magna Carta, has created an animated PSA to educate people on the symptoms of COVID-19 and remind them to practice social distancing to prevent the spread of the new coronavirus infections.
Kusezandleni zakho ukuba uzikhusela njani kwimpilo nokhuseleko lwe-coronavirus wena, intsapho yakho kunye nabo osebenza nabo. Yintoni i-coronavirus, COVID-19? COVID-19 luhlobo lomkhuhlane abantu abazange babe nalo ngaphambili. Abantu abakwazi ukuwumela lo mkhuhlane futhi akukafunyanwa iyeza eluchanayo. COVID-19 iyasuleleka kodwa ayoyikisi njenge-SARS virus. Eyona ndlela yoyilumkela i-COVID-19 kukungadibani nabantu ngobuninzi babo. Sanukoyika, ukuzikhusela nguyena ndongqo wokuhlula le virus. Iindaba ezimnandi, abantu abaninzi amajoni abo omzimba akwimeko entle. Bakufumana nje umkhuhlana ongayindawo, bazikhusela ngokulandela le migaqo. Hlamba izandla zakho imizuzu 20 ngesephu. Ukuba ayikho isephu, sebenzisa isibulala-ntsholongwane esine-60% yotywala. Yeka ukubamba amehlo, impumlo kunye nomlomo kuba ngawona masango apho ingena khona intsholongwane. Coca indawo yakho yokusebenza, idesika, ikhitshi, itafile yentlangano, indawo yokutyela, usebenzise isepha, isibulala-ntsholongwane. Hlamba izandla zakho emva kokuba ubambe nantoni na njengecango, umnyango weteksi, ikhompyuta, nelayiti yombane nemali. Ukuzikhathalela ukwimeko entle yokulwa nentsholongwane. Ukuba ngaba amajoni wakho omzimba akwisimo esihle sempilo, lala ngokwaneleyo, yitya kakuhle, zilolonge, lwisa ingcinezelo yengqondo. Yeka ukuhamba okungabalulekanga eMzantsi Afrika nangaphesheya ukunqanda ukwanda kwentsholongwane. Kuxhomekeke kwihambo yakho, hlala endlini amalanga 14 emva kokushiya indawo apho yandileyo intsholongwane. Eyona nto ibalulekileyo. Nangona kunzima ukuba kude nabo abantu abafutshane kuwe, zama ukungadibani nezintlobo zakho, ukunxibelelana nikude kuko okulungeleyo kuwo wonke umntu ukuze sikhuseleke. Ukuba uyaphuma kwakho, zama ukuba ungadibani nabantu abaninzi. Wazi njani ukuba wosulelekile yile ntsholongwane? Amaphawu afana nowomkhuhlane, ukuphelelwa ngumphefumlo, izilonda enqaleni, ukhohlokhohlo olomileyo. Ukuba ngaba ubona ezi mpawu, suxhalaba. Ukuba nolwazi yiyona ndlela yokukhuseleka. Landela i-World Health Organization ukuba uhlale unolwazi nokuba unombuzo. Ungaqala ngokufunda ngokubanzi nge-COVID-19 ngokuthumela igama HI ku-0600 123 456 kuWhatsApp. Le video iqulunqwe yiMagna Carta Reputation Management Consultants kunye nabo basebenzisana nabo kwizwekazi iAfrika. Hlala ukhuselekile, unxulumene nabanye, usebenza, ujonge ikamva xa sizama ukudadela enxwemeni sonke.
After the ad break, we'll take a look at resources and places of safety. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still tuned to Our City, the COVID show with me, Vicky McCullum. For your latest news around the COVID-19 pandemic and to see what other Cape Townians are doing to keep safe. Speaking about what Cape Townians are doing, here are some organizations helping communities stay safe. Athlone House of Strength, AHOS, established in 2001, is a shelter for abused women and children. They also offer telephonic counseling. If you need assistance during lockdown or would like to assist, contact 021 862 9983. Mosaic, offering counseling and legal aid for women and girl survivors of domestic violence and abuse. For assistance, contact 021 761 7585. South African Depression and Anxiety Group, SADC, a 24-hour helpline is available if you need counseling for depression or anxiety. Contact 0800 456 789 or SMS 31293. That's all we have for you today, but if you have something to say, we want to hear from you. Send your comments, news and questions to us via Facebook at Our City CT, on Twitter at Our City CT, or get in touch with us via email on ourcity@capetowntv.org. This is a time when we need to come together as a nation, so if you're not sure about something, send us your questions and we'll try to find the answers for you. You can also call us on 021 448 0448. From me, Vicky McCullum, and the Our City News crew, have a great day. Goodbye.